irresponsible without your money, I'm not. Thought he had a plan, but we gon' foil his plot. Heard him sneaking in, so we just ran in the spot. And then we spin the block around just like the hell in the clock. Oh, you irresponsible without your money, I'm not.
Hey, yo, what's gaming players? It's your boy, Disney Shirtman, back out here on this Madden 21 franchise mode. And we are back with another episode here in week 16. Another 1 o'clock scheduled game is here. In this matchup, we have the Houston Texans fighting for their playoff lives as they host Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. The Texans, they're currently the 8th seed in the AFC, and they're trying to fight for perhaps the 7th seed in the AFC playoffs. Now, speaking of the playoffs, here's the NFL playoff picture. Now, you can see the 7th seed is currently held by the Buffalo Bills. But if the Texans can win this one, and the Bills, they play in the Monday game against New England. If Buffalo ends up losing that game, then that will give Houston one more shot to try to get that 7th seed in Week 17. Because you already know the Bills play the Patriots in the Monday game. The Browns lost their opportunity to clinch the playoffs. So now they have to go to Week 17. If the Texans can win and the Buffalo Bills lose, then a lot of stuff gonna be intact once we head to Week 17. But if you haven't seen the rest of the games here in Week 16, be sure to go check those games out. And you guys, we're getting super close to the finale of the Madden 21 season. It's been a long journey, but I'm glad you guys have been enjoying this. It's been so much fun. It's been so much fun to go through this, and we're getting so close to the finale. But make sure you've seen the rest of the games here from week 1 towards week 16, so you won't forget any of this. Because once we finish this, it's going to stay on the channel, so you guys can go back and watch it, remember all the cool moments that happened and all that stuff. But with that, let's head down to NRG Stadium in Houston, where the Houston Texans, they're looking to keep their playoff hopes alive heading into the season finale. Let's go.
Today, it's week 16 of the NFL on EA Sports. We'll see Deshaun Watson and the Houston Texans taking on Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. They do it big here in Houston, and a second ago it was a Texas-sized welcome for their hometown guys. They're fired up and ready to go as they get set to match up with the Cincinnati Bengals.
And there's KJ Tucker, and those were the stats he put on in the last game, where Houston was still able to keep their playoff hopes alive coming into this one.
Hi again, everyone. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and Charles, we look at this Texan ball club entering play here. They've certainly found their.
So the Bengals, they're gonna kick it off to the Texans to start it. So Deshaun Watson set to lead this Texan offense to start it, as they are looking to keep their playoff hopes alive heading into the season finale, week 17, as we're underway from Houston. And this one will not be returned, so this one will be a touchback. And now the Texans will begin their opening drive.
In his 4th year now in the league, as he gets set to operate this Houston Texans offense.
And those are the stats for Deshaun Watson on the season. He's playing tremendous.
A little bit of concern throwing the 2 interceptions.
Yeah, and the 2 pick.
Yeah, you want the ratio really to be closer to 3-to-1 as opposed to the 2-to-1 that he had. But it is something to build on. They did get the win, didn't they?
Yep.
1st and 10 for Houston. And a flag comes out on the very first play. And the Texans, it looks like they're going to move backwards off the flag. Not a way to start it.
They forgot where they were, perhaps.
The false start backs them up 5. 1st and 15. Watson now to throw.
Watson, and he's going to find Wes Montgomery. And they're going to get him at the 41 and a 1st down for Houston.
A good pickup there, 21 yards. Good job there to locate his tight end, Charles, in the middle of the field.
Yeah, he has good pass-catching abilities, and if they're able to continue to find him here in the early going, I think it'll help out his teammates out on the perimeter. You can take the big shots later if he occupies their attention.
Now a 1st down throw,
Watson, and right side he finds Montgomery wide open, and Montgomery's got a Texans touchdown.
A big play there. Touchdown number 15 of the year. And the Texans have taken the early lead. Well, if they didn't get the wake-up call before the game, they got it right now. 2 plays already in the end zone.
I think of it in boxing terms, because whether it's a big shot with your first one or a probing one,
he is favoring for the extra point, and he's got it. And the Texans lead 7-0 over the Bengals.
Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good, and that makes the score 7-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
And this one's sent away.
Fielded a couple yards in
And
the
this
end
one's
zone.
not going to be returned by Phillips. So the Bengals set to begin their opening drive. And here's Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow, the number 1 overall pick back in April.
And I'll bet he's talking to his guys about resisting the temptation to try and turn this into an up-and-down game. Almost like basketball, where both teams press, and one team gets an advantage, our team's trying to run with them, and they're just not equipped for it. Doesn't matter whether you're equipped or not. Just settle in, get calm before you go for the big strikes.
Burrow and the Bengals with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line.
Burrow. And now it's going to be caught. John Ross with it. And they're going to get him down at the 42 and a 1st down.
That's a good way to start the drive. 17 yards and a 1st down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
Yeah, that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame.
And here's Collins.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff
And
really
down
gets
he
on,
goes,
and
getting
that's how
this
they motivate.
across midfield at the
These guys are
46.
self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
12 yards that time and a Cincinnati 1st down. Well, no slow start here. A couple nice chunk plays back to back.
I love the momentum that they're showing here early because they did it both ways, right? Threw the ball on 1st down for a nice chunk of yardage. Came right back and ran the ball. Looks like they got the defense set back on their heels. Let's see if they can keep this moving.
Right back to it.
Right back to
1st down.
Collins.
He takes it down to
And
the
they're going to
42,
get him
a
this time at the
5-yard line.
42-yard line.
Now look, that wasn't a huge
2nd
game,
and
but
5
those are
now
the
after
types
a
of carries
5-yard
I think they were
carry.
missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
And here's Collins again, and this time he's brought down at the line of scrimmage.
Right there. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. And he got off at the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom, quick, and what a terrific
Burrow
play.
gets hit as he throws, and it's incomplete.
It's incomplete as he got popped as he was throwing it.
Pressure, and that's certainly going to be a key to this game going forward. And that time, they were able to get in there and influence the throw. And remember, quarterbacks got to get rid of it. They don't have the tuck rule that they can fall back on
And Hubert
anymore.
sends this one away. No return, and they're going to down it at the 4-yard line.
Inside the 5-yard line.
Well, someone's going to be happy with that effort. And you know who else is going to be happy? His defense.
Absolutely.
He's created a very long field for that offense to try to traverse.
And he got some help from Mr. Football there, checking up nicely. Good English on that punt.
And here's Duke Johnson. And not much there. He only picks up a gain of a yard.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
That first down play, all you want to do is wedge out any type of space and try and create enough room. If you have to run the punter out,
Watson, and he's going to find KJ Tucker. And they're going to get him down at the 36 and a first down.
Boy, they've definitely come out of the gate smoking here in the first quarter. Whatever they've tried to run has worked. And there's another example right there. Game plan is one thing, but how about his accuracy? It's been exceptional.
Much more room to operate under after the big play. Here's 1st and 10. A shotgun snap for Watson.
Watson, left side, caught by Montgomery. And they're going to get him down across midfield at the 45.
19 yards there on the catch and run.
A gain of 19 and a first down.
They think to themselves, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people. But you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
And gets a toss. Duke Johnson. And he's going to pick up a gain of about 8 on the first down carry. 2nd down.
Really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high.
Watson throwing for Montgomery again, and he's got it. And down he goes inside the 15 to the 14.
On that catch, he's already eclipsed 100 yards here in the first quarter. Charles, he's on pace for over 400.
And playing with great confidence, isn't he? I think he probably had it coming into the game, and now that he's really come out of the gate this strongly, how'd you like to be in the huddle with him right now? You know he's demanding the football. And guess what? I'd throw it to him. He's having a fantastic game, and they haven't defended him yet.
Watson finding Tucker. And down he goes, gets this to the 1, picking up 1st and goal now.
Down to the 1. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down. Out of the gun.
Watson, and he's going to find Brandon Cooks, but he loses yardage.
Back to the 2. It'll go as a loss on the play. Not what you need down here. It's going to be 2nd and goal. 2-yard line. Back at the 2 now. Here's 2nd and goal. To the air
Watson for Tucker. He's got it. Touchdown, Houston.
Touchdown, Houston. 2 first-quarter touchdown passes now for Deshaun Watson. And the Texans will add on to their lead.
There's not much that's perfect in football, but that's about as close to it as you're going to get. Score, force a punt, score again.
And both drives were impressive. The opening drive was, that last one was. Now on the other side, though, what's your psyche? You're really behind the 8 ball.
Fairbairn for the extra point, and he's got it to make it 14-0 Houston.
A little bit and try and get back to your game plan. It's way too early for panic.
Fairbairn good with the extra point, and it's now 14-0. The kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
And this one is sent away, and Phillips will take a knee in the end zone, so this one's going to be a touchback.
At the 25.
25-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going as we grind toward the end of the season here, and they that they had hoped. So let me ask you to play GM. Where might they look some changes?
Burrow downfield, and it's incomplete.
Always end up winning games for you.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Burrow, and he's gonna find AJ Collins, but that one goes backwards. A loss of a yard.
So now they deal with 3rd and 11. Now that screen there on 2nd down certainly didn't develop how they had hoped. Is that one they should have even tried, or is that one the quarterback sticks in his pocket?
I think the latter. I like what you said there, because trying is one thing. We can second guess just about every
Burrow, and he's gonna find Collins again, and once again the Texans stuffed the screen. And now it's 4th down.
Tipped up in the air, and you come back and try and pick up the 1st down on 3rd down. That way you don't lose any yardage.
Here's Kevin Huber now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away.
Man, this first half for Cincinnati is not going the way they planned it. And they're going to down this one inside the 20 to the 18.
Deshaun Watson making his way back.
And here comes Deshaun Watson.
Spotlight. They must have seen something leading up to this one that said, hey, we're going to be able to go deep, because they've gone deep with a lot of success.
And pick your phrase, pick your code words, your buzzwords, whatever. Vertical stretch, deep passes, go routes, right? What's that route you love? What's that route you love?
4 verts.
4 verts. All of it working because they're able to find ways to get deep, and for him to show off that big arm.
We see some of that big arm right here. He has been great. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. They are clicking on all cylinders. They seem to be just scoring at will.
And
right
here's
now.
Duke Johnson, left side.
Now we always talk about,
and they're going to get him down at the 36 and a 1st down.
Everything is working for them. Every move they make works. It clicks, and they are on point right now.
Yeah, they are in that zone that you're talking about. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. We often give credit to the O-line there. 2 tight end formation. Those tight ends block pretty well also.
Watson, right side to Montgomery. And Wes Montgomery now. And he takes this all the way to the 2-yard line.
A big play there on the catch and run. 62 yards.
Okay, so now I can see the struggle for Cincinnati, and they are literally getting exposed right now. What Montgomery is just doing whatever he wants to do to get open.
After the big play, a chance to finish now on 1st and goal. Here's Watson.
Watson to the end zone for Montgomery. Touchdown, Houston.
Deshaun Watson with his 3rd touchdown pass of this first half. And the Texans push further out in front. So simple math here in the first half. They've had 3 drives offensively, and they have scored every time, and they've got the lead.
Well, whenever we talk about adjustments, we usually talk about an offense making adjustments, right? This is all about the defense. They've got to figure out some way, somehow to slow them down. Do they blitz a little bit more? Do they play more zone coverage? Right now,
and here's Fairbairn, the extra point, and he's going to put this one in to make it 21-0.
3 plays on that drive. And the result, a Houston touchdown.
That's now 2 first-half touchdowns for Wes Montgomery. And like I said, what a season he's had for this Texans team.
Takes this about 5 yards deep.
I mean, think about it. This Texans team had last seen a 3-6 record, but then with the 5-game win streak, they have them at 8-6, fighting for a playoff berth in the AFC. That's a tremendous improvement.
What you also have to guard against is calling every play.
But Joe Burrow and the Bengals, they're not playing a good game so far.
And last time I looked, it's still the first half.
And here's Collins. And they're going to get him down at the 41, picking up a
16
first.
yards right off the bat and a first down.
A good run there off right tackle in an old school NFL football. The right side of the offensive line, often known as the nasty side. The left side, usually the technical side. Kind of reminds me of the old Atlanta Falcons 2009, 2010. That's how they constructed their offensive
Burrow,
line.
play action. Throwing, and it's incomplete.
This one winds up to be incomplete. He was looking for his favorite target, A.J. Green, that time. That'll bring up second down.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
And here's Collins. And they're going to get him this time at the 46. A gain of 5 brings up third down.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
From the gun on third down is Burrow.
Burrow, and left side, he finds Galloway.
To the tight end.
And he's got a first down.
On the heels of a 5-yard run, good enough for the first. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Throwing now, Burrow on first
Burrow,
down.
and he's going to find Galloway, left side. And he's brought down inside the 15-yard line.
Minute 55 left to go in the first half of play.
The Bengals are trying to somehow get something going.
We'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL.
Burrow to the end zone. Galloway. Touchdown, Cincinnati.
Touchdown. From 13 yards out. And the Bengals are able to cut into this lead. So a nice touchdown pass for the rookie there. And, you know, as they go down the stretch, look, they're not a playoff team. This is just confidence building and growth time for him, right?
Yeah, it's a game within the game, isn't it? Because every team wants to win all games on their schedule. But the development of this rookie quarterback is paramount for this team. So you're exactly
Extra
right.
point is
Every
good,
round
and the
matters with the
Bengals
game, with
cut
the
the lead to
situation, with the
21-7.
score. Valuable for him, valuable for his team as they look
They're
towards
trying to
next year.
at least get something going, because in the first half it hasn't been their game.
Now Bullock will send this one away after the touchdown. This will make it into
And this one's not going to be returned, so this one will be a touchback.
We begin at the 25. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. They are just putting things together so well here, drive after drive. They really have captured the momentum, haven't they?
They've taken momentum and pretty much not just given him a jersey, but a seat on the bench as well. Whatever do you need, you've got it, because
Watson, and he's going to find Tucker over the middle, and he's got another first down. The Bengals have got to find a way to stop this passing game, because that's the most issue for them.
200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always bounce back after plays. But with the kind of numbers he's putting up here, it's starting to wear on him a
Watson,
little bit,
deep
I think.
ball
So
for KJ Tucker. He beat both of his defenders, and he gets the Texans another first down.
There for the Texans, 57 yards.
That's a big-time pitch and catch right there, partner. I remember the days when quarterbacks would try this. They were holding their breath, but nowadays,
Man, oh man, this Bengals defense. Oh my goodness.
when it's one-on-one and the ball's in the air like that.
A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on
Watson, end zone, Montgomery, touchdown Houston. His third in the game, but that's 4 touchdown passes for Deshaun Watson. I guess Watson is not playing around. He wants to let everybody, he wants to let the 7th seed know, the team that's holding that 7th seed, that we are coming for that 7th seed.
They didn't recover from it. And you know, they always talk about having to have a short memory on defense after a big play against you. Looks like their memory was a little too long there.
Extra point is good, and it's 28-7.
So a 75-yard scoring drive on just 3 plays. And it results in the Texans finding the end zone. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
And Phillips, he's not going to return this one, as this one's going to be a touchback.
At their own 25-yard line.
Cincinnati set to take over once again. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second
and that's
half.
tipped and incomplete.
This is a big decision here.
There defensively to knock it away was the safety Justin Reed. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. From the shotgun, it's Burrow.
Burrow gets hit as he throws it, and it's incomplete.
Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10.
And they're going to hand it to Collins on 3rd down. And they're going to get him down at the 29.
Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go before halftime. Here's Kevin Huber now as he's on to punt for Cincinnati. He's been a busy
Huber
man
sends
here
this one away.
as he gets it away.
No return for Tucker.
And great special
And they're
teams
going to
work
down
here.
this
is
one
knocking
at
on
the
door to
6-yard
find.
line.
Spotted at the 6-yard line.
Absolutely love the flexibility of these punters. Their leg drive, able to get it way up in the air, and that allows their punt team to get down there and down it inside the 10 because they've had some time.
From the gun, here's Watson.
Watson, and that one's going to be caught, is Duke Johnson. And they're going to get him down at the 32-yard line.
2 remaining timeouts as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Off of play action,
A
it's
play
Watson.
action for Watson, and he finds Montgomery. And they're going to get him at the 48-yard line.
The Texans going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half. On 1st down, it's Watson. Going up top.
Watson looking for Montgomery, and that's intercepted. William Jackson picks it, and William Jackson, he's down the sideline, and he returns it, a pick 6. A huge play to turn the game around.
You have more chances to make a team now than ever because people are using 5 defensive back, 6 defensive back packages. Not exclusively, but way more than before.
Extra point is good, and it's now 28-14 into halftime. What a defensive play for Cincinnati. But they're still trailing, however. The Texans looking to keep their playoff hopes alive.
The weather might be cold, but the playoff races are heating up here on this final Sunday before Christmas. So let's get to it.
Up next, the very last 1 o'clock game in Jacksonville, as the Bears looking to get their first win as they take on the 1-13 Jacksonville Jaguars. Then the 4 o'clock schedule begins in Seattle, a huge game in the NFC West between the LA Rams and the Seattle Seahawks.
Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the second quarter. In the game you're watching is Deshaun Watson, who is the star of the first half. He's over 300 yards passing already. How high can he go? To find out, let's kick it back over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Now, in the first half, it's been all right, but the Texans, what a performance they put on, especially for Deshaun Watson. 4 first half touchdown passes, has his guys in the lead as they're trying to keep their playoff hopes alive for one final week. But the Bengals, they're going to get the ball to start the second half. They're trying to overcome this deficit and ruin the day.
Burrow going to lead up the Bengals here, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
On the first play is Collins. And they're going to get him down at the 34, a gain of 9.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34.
Burrow, and that was caught. It's A.J. Green, and he's got a first down.
He was held without a catch in the first half, but he's got one here, and he also picks up a first down. Now, that's a catch of some significance. It's number 631 of his career, and why that's significant, it ties him with Hall of Famer Raymond Berry.
He was one of the most precise route runners at any position during his time in his career.
Burrow over the middle, and it's incomplete. He was trying to go back to A.J. Green, and now it's 2nd down.
Understands how defenses are going to play, understands where the leverage is, and goes away from it to the tune of 631 catches.
Burrow, and he's going to find Collins, and that goes nowhere.
This one's going to go the wrong way, losing yardage back at the 42.
Collins is at negative 10 yardage receiving. That is ridiculous.
But it also feeds on the energy of that crowd that you're talking about. And that takes
Burrow, and he's going to be taken down by J.J. Watt.
J.J. Watt in there for sack number 22 on the year. And, folks, that's just a half sack shy now of Michael Strahan's record of 22 and a half set in 2001.
Man, it just hasn't been a good game for the Cincinnati Bengals. They've been getting pushed around. I just don't know what to say. I mean, the way this season has been going for them, it just hasn't been their season. It just hasn't been. Yes, Joe Burrow is a rookie, but he's now understanding. He's now understanding the stuff that he has to go through when the Bengals play next season, since they're not a playoff team. But the Texans, they're going to get the ball now. And here comes Wes Montgomery again.
And he's proving again why tight ends can be so valuable in this league. He's over 150 yards.
They just continually create mismatches because of their body frame, their athletic ability. You put a little guy on them, a small corner, they can often overpower them. You put a bigger linebacker on them, they'll run by them. You name it, they almost have the last move if this were a chess game. That's why they're so valuable.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard
Watson,
line.
and that one's going to be incomplete. He was trying to go to Kenny Stills.
In any event, it happened pretty quickly. I'm not sure he made the right decision on that one. I think if he had it to do over again, he would have found a different target downfield. But he made his decision, and that one's incomplete.
Watson, and that one's incomplete.
But so far in this drive, they've done some good work. They force incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, bring up 3rd and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure, or do they play coverage on this down?
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions.
Watson, and open again. It's Montgomery. And they're going to get him down at the 46 and a first down.
Well, that's one way to convert on 3rd down, picking up 26 yards.
Man, he's at 236 yards receiving. That is ridiculous, especially on defense. You allow a tight end to put up that many yards receiving? That is crazy. So 1st and 10 after that completion to Montgomery. Watson, looking deep for Tucker. He's got it. Touchdown, Houston.
It's another touchdown.
The 5th passing touchdown for Watson.
Of the afternoon, and the Texans will add on to their lead.
And that's a drive that makes everyone happy on that bench because they accomplish exactly what they set out to do. Take care of the football, eat up a little clock, end up in the end zone. Now they've got a cushion for the rest of the game. So they didn't just
and here's the extra point by Fairbairn. And he's got it. Now it's 35-14.
To extend the lead. A 4-play drive spanning 80 yards. And the result, a Houston touchdown. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
This one's sent away, and Phillips, he's not going to return this one. This one's going to be a touchback.
Not attempt to return. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Play action.
Play action. Burrow. And he's going to be sacked. Wendy Merciless was the one to get him.
Whitney Merciless. He's the culprit, and that is now his 13th sack of the season as his great year continues. So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done. Now it's
Burrow, and he's going to find Collins. And his nightmare receiving yardage continues. They stuff another screen.
So things get even tougher. 3rd and long coming up.
Time to give a little credit here. That was an excellent read by the guys on the defensive side of the ball.
You're crediting your defense.
Gotta credit them on that one because they tried to fool him.
Burrow, and that's intercepted.
Picked off by
Gary and Conley with it. Burrow was trying to go to A.J. Green, but the defender beat him.
That wasn't one of them.
Well, we got to give him one, don't we? I mean, with the year he's having, a lot easier for he and his teammates to accept that throw because for the most part, what they've seen, it's been pretty sensational.
And here's Duke Johnson. And they're going to get him down right at the 6-yard line.
Partner, you know I love to point out when teams break tendency and do something a little bit different from the norm. But when you run the ball in the first play of the drive, that's not a tendency breaker at all. That's just trying to establish yourself as you move forward.
And here's Duke Johnson.
Gets him a little bit closer. He takes it from the 6
and they're going to get him down this time at the 4.
2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice.
And they're going to hand it to Duke Johnson again, and he gets taken down, losing yardage.
Commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
Well, if this defense can hold them to a field goal here, what a win that would be.
Not just a win on the possession, but psychologically take over the ball game. But this started with 1st and goal, so they were in 4-down territory right from the beginning. I say you finish it off and go for the touchdown.
And Fairbairn puts it in to make it 38-14.
Extend the lead out to 24.
38. Bengals 14.
They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right?
And Phillips, he will take a knee, so this one will be a touchback.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's
1st and 10. It's Collins.
in their head. And what I mean by
And they're going to get him down at the 41, which is going to bring the third quarter to a close. The Texans lead the Bengals 38-14. They're 5 minutes away from keeping their playoff hopes alive and taking it to week 17. But like I said, they have to win this game, which they're 5 minutes away from doing it.
Now it's
Burrow, he's gonna find Collins, and they're gonna get him down at the 47 and a first down.
12 yards that time and a Cincinnati first down.
Not only do the Texans have to win, as I mentioned, they're gonna be watching that Buffalo-New England game to make sure that 7th seed for the AFC will be on the line in week 17.
They will throw on first down with
Burrow all day, and he's sacked. John Elijah was able to get him.
Many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24. Out of the gun, it's
Burrow, and that one's thrown incomplete.
Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something
Burrow, and that one's going to be incomplete. He was trying to go to Teddy Galloway, and now it's 4th down.
They've had trouble hooking up on it, unable to successfully find the end zone over the top.
From the shotgun, Joe Burrow.
Burrow gets hit as he throws, and that's intercepted. Justin Reed was able to pick it off.
At their 42-yard line. The rookie was trying to push it downfield, but the safety bit him.
And he'll learn that you have to hold the safety. And you do that with your head movement, your eyes, sometimes your shoulders. Hold the safety so that you can get back to the throw that you really want to make. He got so excited.
And here's Duke Johnson. Now all the Texans can do now is to chew on that clock, try to take it down, and get out of here with a victory. And they will pay attention. They will be able to watch that Bills New England game to see if they can force that 7th seed to be on the line for week 17. David Johnson, he's brought down at the 46-yard line.
But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
From the gun on 3rd,
Watson, and that's intercepted. William Jackson again. Remember, he had the pick 6 before halftime. He gives the Bengals the ball back.
It seems like this guy's been all over the field so far. That's his 2nd interception of the game. And so much of playing defense in the NFL, especially when it comes to defending the pass, is all about positioning and technique. And this is fantastic work on both fronts.
Burrow, and he's going to find Galloway. And they're going to get him down inside the 40.
12 yards that time and a Cincinnati first down. Decent start to the drive, but let's face it, they need a lot of things to go right in a short amount of time, down 3 scores.
Yeah, they're going to run their 2-minute offense here in this game, but this is for future games. Can they get better and be ready for the next time, hopefully with a chance to win?
Burrow looking around. He has all day to throw, and it's caught. John Ross, a huge play there.
2nd play in a row with a 12-yard gain.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should.
Burrow, and it's incomplete.
It's going to be incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration of body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
Burrow, and that one is caught one-handed by Galloway, which brings this to the 2-minute warning. Which you already know, this one is out of reach.
Possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over.
Burrow, and he's going to find Galloway. Touchdown, Cincinnati.
From 10 yards out, and the Bengals are able to draw a bit closer.
The Bengals.
Obviously, the scoreboard right now is not the friend of this rookie quarterback, but hey, a touchdown pass there maybe builds a little confidence.
Every rep is valuable when you're a rookie.
And Burrow, he's trying to run it, but the Texans get him.
Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. Tried to roll out, make a play outside of the pocket, but couldn't get it done.
When you don't have a lot of space for your receivers to operate, and down there it's really condensed when you're snapping the ball from the 2-yard line, rolling out.
And the Bengals, they're going to use their timeout, and I guess you could see why. They want to get the ball back to have any chance. And the Texans are going to pick it up.
Fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game.
Now the Texans could seal the game with a first down on this possession. And here's Duke Johnson, and they're going to get him down at the 41-yard line.
Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
41-yard line.
They stay on the ground.
And here's David Johnson. And did he get the first? No, he did not. He was an inch short.
This intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there. I'm going to tackle this guy. By the fourth quarter,
3rd and inches. The Texans can seal the game with a first down. Watson, and look who he finds. He finds Montgomery, who's been torturing that Bengal defense all game long. He gets the first down, and that will ice the game for the Houston Texans, as they have done it. Now that catch right there ices the game.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
So the Houston Texans, with this victory here, their playoff hopes are still intact. Now, they're going to be watching that Bills-Patriots game to see if that 7th seed can be forced to Week 17. And if it does, then you already know what's on the line for Week 17. That 7th seed in the AFC. Well, I'll literally tell you guys what's at stake in Week 17, but I still feel like the final 2 AFC wildcard spots, or it could be 3 of the AFC wildcard spot, but it's a lot that's intact coming up in Week 17. Let's not forget, the 7th seed in the NFC is going to be up for grabs in Week 17 between both the Falcons and Buccaneers, and that knee will certainly do it. So the Houston Texans hope for a New England victory in order to force that 7th seed to Week 17. Because if not, if the Buffalo Bills end up winning Monday Night Football against New England, then I'm pretty sure that 7th seed will be with Buffalo. But the Texans remain alive in the playoff picture as they go to 9-6, dropping the Bengals to 2-13. The Texans win 38-20.
Because both teams finding ways to click. And you know people who love this game, they also love baseball games that are 14-11 with 3 or 4 home runs mixed in.
So for Houston, it's a critical win for them as it gets them to 9-6 on the year. And they'll get to stay home again next week as the Tennessee Titans come to town. Meanwhile, for the Bengals, things get even uglier now as they fall to 2-13. And they'll be at home for one next week as the Baltimore Ravens come to town. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.
All I can say is this. Buffalo better be ready, because I'm going to say it once again. Since the Texans won this game, they're going to be watching that Bills-Patriots game, and the Texans are hoping that the Patriots come out on top. And if the Patriots do end up beating Buffalo, then in Week 17, these things are going to be on the line come Week 17. The final 2 NFC wildcard spots, 3 of the AFC wildcard spots. You already know the NFC East title, the AFC North title, home field advantage in the NFC, home field advantage in the AFC. It's just a lot of stuff to be intact at this point, y'all. And Houston, they remain alive. One of the 2 teams that are trying to remain alive, just like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did. They remain alive in the playoff picture. And now the Texans remain alive in the playoff picture with their victory. So here are the results. Deshaun Watson played a tremendous game. 433 yards passing with 5 touchdown passes but 2 interceptions. Those 2 interceptions really didn't matter at that point because he started off with 5 touchdown passes, and basically that was all she wrote. And Joe Burrow finished with 133, 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, 3 sacks. Now that is gonna have to be avoided in the next game because they face the Baltimore Ravens, who is probably gonna be the number 1 defense heading into the season finale, and their offensive line better be prepared for that Baltimore pressure because they love to bring pressure. Here's the running game. A.J. Collins ran 8 times for 67. Duke Johnson, 8 carries for 36. And David Johnson, 2 carries for 11. Here's the receiving. Wes Montgomery, 10 catches for 240 yards and 3 touchdowns on the game. KJ Tucker, 6 catches for 168 and 2 touchdowns. Teddy Galloway, 6 catches for 91 and 2 touchdowns. John Ross, 2 catches for 29. Duke Johnson, a catch for 26. And AJ Green, a catch for 13. So for the Texans, they remain alive in the playoff picture for now as they move to 9-6. And they'll get to stay home in the season finale as the Tennessee Titans will come to town. Meanwhile, for Cincinnati, the struggles to their season continues as they will drop to 2-13, and they will have a chance to rebound as they will head home for a matchup with the Baltimore Ravens. With that, guys, another episode in the Madden 21 season is in the books. If you enjoyed it, be sure to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new. We are getting closer to 200 subscribers on the channel, and I just hope that we'll be able to make it there. And the next game, this next game, nothing is played for at all. The Chicago Bears, they're just trying to get their first win on the season as they take on the 1-13 Jacksonville Jaguars.